You forget how much you miss needless interactions with strangers, right?
Sort of like this.
Yeah, like this. I've forgotten how much I miss just going to restaurants and having other people clean up after you. That's horrible? I know it's horrible to say, but that's what eating out's about. I mean, it's the social part of it.
You miss your mother, you miss your server, and you miss your crew chief. That's what you miss.
Yeah. Hey, let's start this show pretty soon, should we?
Hey everybody, welcome. This is our podcast, Speedy, Beardy, and the Mole. I'm Rutledge Wood.
I'm Adam Ferrara.
I'm Tanner Faust.
That's right. And we used to do a TV show together called Top Gear USA on the History Channel. Maybe you've seen it on Hulu, illegally on YouTube, or somewhere else around the world. But we decided we would sit and watch a few shows. And this is our fourth show. The first ones we did the way we would like to do all of these, which is together on Tanner's magical couch. But since we can't be together right now, Tanner will be on that couch. Adam is on his fictitious stoop in New York, and I'm at a roadside junk sale.
Perfect. And we were each drinking our beverage of choice. Gentlemen, cheers.
Salud.
Cheers to you.
I'm taking a trip to Jamaica.
There we go.
That's right.
I'm drinking out of my, what is this? Oh, my Mark Maron pot, my Mark Maron mug.
Nice.
Fancy. I'm drinking out of the one glass I found here at the farm. I washed it first. And so we asked some people what were some fun shows they wanted us to watch and talk about. And
they,
Adam, you said,
actually said, they said it was the show they really wanted to see was West Wing, but we weren't on that.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Not yet.
So wait till this comes out.
Yeah. So all right. So, and the episode we're doing today is the Death Valley episode, which was season 2, episode 4, right?
That's right.
We had a request from somebody, season 2, episode 4. I wasn't aware of which episode it was, but I think Rhett, you chimed in, said it was Death Valley, and so this is we spent a lot of time in Death Valley. This particular one, though, wasn't this one where we had to go basically from, I don't know, Bakersfield to Las Vegas without touching pavement?
That's right. LA to Vegas, right?
Right. And to do that, I know now, since I have a pilot's license, there's all kinds of military bases over there. And remember, we always had a helicopter filming stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, do you remember how we had to have, like, the helicopter had to always stay on the ground, had to land next to the highway? And they gave us a special permit to fly it under the military base. And every once in a while, like an F-22 would come buzz us. Yeah, that was amazing. I can't wait till Top Gun comes out. It's gonna be great.
Oh, I'm just remembering some of the fun stuff that happened. You kind of like day one, right before we got really too far into it. But there was a lot of stuff in this show that didn't make it. Like the world's dumbest race of all time, which we will share at some point during the show when we tried to race to the top of like this dune mountain.
Oh my gosh, on foot.
Yeah, you mean race is like a foot race.
Yeah, was that when you
really
threw up? You were
race?
Puking, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we had dehydration had set in, and that's when beer feet came to visit. But we'll get to all that.
Forgot about that.
Right?
Yeah,
Tabitha Lintel saving our lives.
Do you want tunes? Okay, so I'm loaded up, I think, here.
I'm all ready.
Whenever you guys are ready.
You ready, Rob?
Hit the button in 3, 2, 1. Hopefully you've gotten through the little commercial there where you have to pay for it. And you're seeing us fly through. There's the CTSP. Oh, there's the dunes.
Yep.
I need to turn the volume down here.
That's yeah.
Oh, that Jeep. So this is a fun one. I picked a K5 Blazer, and this, like so many of our other shows, the producers called us and said, hey, you've got this amount of money, and you need an SUV. So what would you try to find? And I think I might have chosen first, and I wanted a K5 Blazer because I thought it'd be pretty tough. Adam, you went with a Bronco.
I did, yes.
Which we hoped would be tough and appeared to be the opposite.
I went with the
we
fail-safe.
can't blame the truck, and we'll see when we get there. I'll point out what I remembered that I'm still kicking myself about.
Okay.
I went with the fail-safe.
got-
Oh my gosh, we had a studio then.
Yeah, this was season 2 when we still had the studio.
I thought the
And the
studio
reason
was only for the first season.
No, we had first 2 seasons, and people always ask, like, why did you get rid of the studio? Here's the deal. We only got 44 minutes to tell the story. The guys in the UK, they can go on as long as they want. So we got to be able to tell the story. So we kept cutting back to the studio, and was more stuff of us driving that was frankly more interesting than the 3 of us babbling. So.
Right. And look, we know Tanner still owns that red shirt, but look at, not only did we have a helicopter to do the shots, but we had a second helicopter to drop us off in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, these were some just insanely epic shots here. I've only been in a helicopter, I think, one other time in my life at this point. Not a fan.
No. Well, you don't like leaving the ground.
Loved it. Oh my gosh.
Well, when you have your own atmosphere around something like this, it's hard to want to leave the Earth's atmosphere.
That's true.
There's
You
just
remember the feeling
What?
him buzzing on that dry lake bed at 150 miles an hour. That was freaking awesome.
yeah, that you say it's awesome, and I'm like, no. The way that the air is pushing against the Earth and pushing back on us, it's like, no, don't get out of here. That's the point where I don't really love helicopters.
When they dropped us off, it was a pretty solid chunk of time before we ever had somebody drive out to us. You remember sort of just sitting on that dry lake bed out there.
Yeah. And if it looks hot, it was hotter. I remember when we landed, I'm looking at each other like, oh, we got 6 days of this?
Yeah, and no offense, there's Tanner's dumbass hat again. That the elephant had crapped out from Alaska.
What's that hat again that an elephant, his thing he kept saying, he's the first one he got in Alaska. He brought it, he goes, this is a great hat. An elephant can eat it, shit it out, and I can still wear it. I go, you do that.
Yeah, that very hat. In fact, their testing is that they actually collect the hats out of elephant dung to put in stores.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the same hat?
Yeah, buy one for the wife.
That's the same hat. And that Jeep, I bought this Jeep after the show for nothing, actually, because it didn't run because of what happens later. But
spoiler alert, I bought the K5 Blazer as well.
Oh, you did?
I destroyed the Bronco, so I didn't buy it. I think I have a piece of it. I forget. I think I got a couple of badges from it, but I didn't buy the truck because I wrecked it.
It was really in pretty good shape until it stopped being in any shape.
The best thing about that is the air conditioner worked.
For that first 20 minutes.
For that first 20 minutes, that air conditioner worked. When we start, you should know, when we do these journeys, when we went to Iceland, I made sure that the heater worked, and I made sure the air conditioner worked when we did stuff in the desert.
See?
And if you're wondering, did we ever talk about like what we were going to wear, what we were going to do? A lot of times we didn't know what we were going to do, and clearly Adam stole his hat from Bret Michaels, and I stole my hat from a child.
Yes.
So
I stole mine right out of an elephant's ass.
Yeah, and you can tell we definitely didn't have any kind of wardrobe budget because we look like idiots who clearly dressed ourselves because we did.
The funniest thing was after this was over, Rachel said, "You can't wear a hat anymore."
Yeah, I think this is the last time I wore a hat on television. How about that? Not a strong look for me, but that's, live and learn. Yep. I could have gone with like Croc Dundee here with the shorts but the long sleeves for sun.
Yeah,
that was always an interesting makeup.
I could have zipped the pant legs onto those shorts.
It would have been better for
they're
everybody.
Convertibles.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize they were the transformer of pants.
You underestimated the nerdiness of that outfit. There's
more
that blazer. You actually put some money into that blazer. And in fact, didn't you put an interior very similar to that shirt?
I did. I fixed that blazer up because Rachel always wanted one. And then I had it until we did the show Lost in Transmission, and I traded it for Roadmaster Wagon, which Rachel hated. Yeah, that was the second one that I then fixed up.
Mm-hmm.
That was
she made you get rid of the first one. What did you say? I got an idea.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she sold the first one when I went out of town, and my friend said, I'm going to write your wife a check for that. And I was like, oh, are you? And then Gary really meant that, and I never saw it again. But then on the show, I took the blazer, fixed it up, traded it for the Roadmaster and some cash, and then I fixed that up, and it was still creepy to her. But Oh, the trailers. I forgot we had trailers.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, that, and I was just thinking about that trailer yesterday. Actually, that was a badass trailer. That hunting trailer.
Your hair, yeah, it weighed a ton. Your trail, the
It was
tongue
like
weight was
3,000
just,
pounds.
yeah.
Oh, you were essentially pulling the weight of your own truck with your truck.
Matt, but that's what we're dealing with COVID right now is what that trailer is all about. That thing, it had a fold down thing to skin animals that you hunted. It had a whole like sleeping thing that was animal proof. Like, it was a tank of a trailer.
And it also had viral microbes. So enjoy.
Yeah,
That's true. What's funny growing up in the South, I've read about Death Valley, but when you show up out there, it's so much more expansive, and obviously it's the hottest recorded temperature in the US, right? Ever. It feels like you've gone to a sunny hell. Like, it's unbelievable, because for miles and miles, any direction you look, it is just barren. But at the same time, if you go in like prepared for an adventure, it is so cool because you can go to all these different spots that are along there. But it wasn't until we found that little shack that I realized, like, historically how bananas this place has been.
Desolate and scary. You remember the guy I guess we should wait when we get there, but the guy who one of his last customers was the Manson family.
So do you remember what I bought there? I can see it. I'm gonna go grab it.
Get it. Don't show us yet. You have to get it. I loved that these trailers, to me, were so funny because, a lot of times the producers, they didn't spend a lot of money on our vehicles because they were pretty sure we were going to beat them up. They spent even less money on these trailers. Tanner's was the only one that was even remotely like well thought out and put together. Mine looked cool, the little teardrop, and then somebody I hope they painted it pink.
Yeah, I don't think
ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think that was like from a Mary Kay car, someone delivering makeup. Tanner's trailer was actually, I think it was a crime scene. There was a human being dismembered in that thing.
If you committed a crime and you went to go hide for like a year, that's the kind of trailer you would take. If you really knew how to survive. I wouldn't have made it 5-6 days in that thing, but if somebody knew how to survive, like, that's the kind of war trailer you want. Look at that thing. My Jeep, the Jeep could barely pull it up a hill. And then the stuff that we did, oh my gosh. Stuff that we did.
This is like, I get why people say they have flashbacks, because if you see the map and it says the points we go to, I immediately think of that hotel and the night. Oh my gosh, there's just.
You remember the one guy saying we were 4 miles from the hotel and it was like 3.5 hours? Yeah.
Was that the hotel? Was that the hotel that had that big bear in the lobby? The stuffed bear in the
lobby? Yes.
Oh God, that was creepy.
Remember, it had like a full pond out front that you basically had to like walk around. It was an oddly placed water feature. And then we went in and just all hell broke loose. So, Tanner, when you look back on this and you see yourself ripping around in the Jeep pulling that heavy trailer, do you miss the Renegade?
I miss it so bad. It was, so we put in that roll cage, beefed up that roll cage. It was cherry. It had a really nice winch on it. It ran great. Steering was good. We put those SPARCO seatbelts in there with a bar behind the seats to attach it to, because we didn't know you could roll it pretty easily, and I kept that thing. I took my daughter like rock crawling in that thing a dozen times. It had no doors, so that was her least favorite part, was when you're driving on the street and all the other cars are like right there and she's in a kid's seat like swinging up over the edge. But then once we'd go and jump the thing, she loved it. So that it was a great Jeep. I sold it back to the original owner after all the crap that we just, and he saw what we did with it.
Yeah. But you had to fix it after that. Didn't know where the wiring harness went.
Just the wiring. I just fixed the wiring and got it working. Some other things were starting to go, and I told him about them, but he was like, he just missed it. He wanted it back.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think he saw the show, because if he would have seen the show, he would have been like, I'll just get another one. I'll paint it up the same.
Did he say why does the engine compartment smell like beans?
Yeah.
That's kind of strong. It's like someone's cooking in here. It's weird.
I
don't know if y'all remember. The K5 was a military spec K5, and I think the Air Force had used it, right? So, if you think about classically, the military has always gone with the lowest bid, right? They don't go with the best. They go with whatever has been inserted as the lowest bid is what they go with. So Chevy essentially took everything out of this thing that they could. It was, I think it had a 305. It might have had a 350, but it was the
it didn't behave
puny
like
little
it
350.
did.
No, it stunk, man. A 6-cylinder would have been stronger. It was, I think it probably had the NP, was it 205 transfer case, a little 4-speed, manual locking hubs, but it had zero anything else. And it felt that way driving it. There was just no frills, but it was also like in the same time kind of cool because it was like the work truck, like simple. You felt like you could hose the thing out, had no carpet, just rubber
it's like
mat.
just rhino line into the thing and just
Yeah.
It
was. So R2 sucked. You had a genuinely nice Bronco.
I had a genuinely great motor was strong. Everything was good about it. Was solid. Air conditioning worked. My favorite feature. The issue is when we get to that point after this is I beat the hell out of it. It happened on the first challenge, and I remember why, and I'm still kicking myself. What happens to these things is you talk into camera first, and then you do whatever the challenge is you have to do. So there's a little bit of downtime. There's a little bit of So I talked into the camera. We got out. We had to do something. We came back in. Adam, you're ready. They called action, and I went to climb the actual hill that we're supposed to do that's coming up. And I remembered, I'm like, this truck should have made it. I didn't go into 4-wheel drive. I was still in 2-wheel drive.
Oh, is that when the drive shaft broke out of the back?
I knocked the spline out and the drive shaft and the action. Yeah, because I'm sitting there going, this truck should. What am I? No, that's what I did wrong. Because I got distracted and my ADD was raging. I'm like, and here's the thing on this show: if your truck dies, it's horrible. When we're on journeys, and it's horrible when your truck dies. When you get it that early, you're like, oh, this is just gonna suck out loud.
Okay, here's that creepy store.
That's the guy. That's the guy.
Okay.
Oh, y'all are ahead of me. I had a commercial. I'm so sorry. Yep, there it is. I was laughing. I started laughing at I had to find the balance point of my trailer when I was sleeping because it just stood up.
Oh yeah, you moved in the trailer. There was a piece of wood. Basically, that was a shop project on wheels. That's what you had, Rod.
Do you see the meat he's selling us?
Tell us about let's talk about this store, right?
He's selling the meat. Okay, this is you cooking the beans that ended up killing my Jeep that cost $2,200 in wiring that it's only got $100 worth of wiring. But to fix. But what I bought in that store, what I found was this.
Yes.
It's the original box set Magnum PI. It's got the freaking audition tapes. It's got all the stuff in it. And I just pulled this out. And do you remember when I opened this up that had this letter in it?
Yes, please read it.
This is a letter from that guy's daughter who gave that to him because he was so bored in the desert, thought, hey, I'll give you Magnum PI. There's a new show coming out in the 70s. So you should check it out.
Just let it go, Rob.
Oh, my gosh. I have not opened this since then.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know there's a picture, too. Oh, she's cute. Hey, girl. Hey.
Let's not get weird, Rhett.
No, I just mean she's a cute gal that she included
a
picture.
Okay, Rutledge. Jesus.
When Rut says hey, it's a greeting. When you say hey, it sounds like a threat.
Oh, there's the dog. That's the dog that was just in the.
That's what I mean. She's really sweet. She put all these pictures into her dad with a gift that he sold you.
Yeah.
Oh, that dog's alive. He's just sleeping.
Thank you.
I'm not going to read the letter. That's just mean. But this is the actual letter.
Mm-hmm.
You could just.
Let's be honest. He can't read.
I don't think he's going to watch this podcast.
No,
it's sad that he didn't read this. Laura and Brent, I'm sorry, Rock is his name. Rock didn't read the letter. Or maybe he read it and he put it back in. That's possibly what happened. Let's just assume that's what happened.
Okay.
Did it mention the DVD in there at all? Hey,
you're
Dad,
doing
I know
well. I
this show
guess
just
you're
came out in the
busy.
70s, but I went to the future and made a DVD, and I went back, and here it is.
Mm-hmm.
We loved our time in Death Valley. It was nice meeting you. Oh, you know what? This was somebody who visited him. Always thought it was his daughter.
Oh!
I never read it because I felt it was so rude, but you
Mhm.
motivated me to, I guess. Nice to meet you.
Way to blame us.
Yeah.
And Potlicker. That's the name of the dog. This dog's name is Potlicker.
Sure it is.
It is. Potlicker.
Okay.
Nice to meet you and Potlicker.
Oh,
Can't
guys,
make
get ready because Adam is
Oh,
about
here
to.
it is.
he
I'm beating the hell out of Oh, it's my. Oh, I wish I was back there. I could. This annoys me so much.
I mean, did you neutral drop it? Did you just like rev it up to $6,000 and throw it in drive or what?
No. I was trying to keep constant. And then when it started slipping, I tried to not get, and then boom.
I forgot about Tanner's face when you jackknifed the there with the trailer. It broke off.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can enjoy these when the busy season ends. Magnum PI box.
By the way, the busy season ended when we left. We were the
The
busy.
busy season never ends in Death Valley because it never started.
There's Tanner going
And
up.
when you have a mailing address, let me know what that is. Hope you're good. Hope to see you
Get
again,
it to
Laura
him.
and Brent.
He did-
Laura and Brent, that was incredibly sweet of you. Rock and Potlicker. Enjoyed these DVDs, I'm sure. I bought them for $10, but I also got.
And how many times, honestly, have you watched them?
I've watched them several times. I've really enjoyed the box set. You know what? And Higgins didn't even find his own until like midway through season 2. Season 1, he didn't know what to do. He wasn't like mad at Magnum or anything. It was weird.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I think most
season 2.
Yeah, I think most people that watch us are like, I wonder if Tanner's ever going to give us like kind of deep dive, introspective look at Magnum PI and the character makeup. I think right now those people are feeling really, really solid.
Satisfied.
Since then, you know, I got to be a double for the new Magnum PI a couple times. That's been an honor because I've seen these.
Oh, is that why they picked you? Because they're like, is anyone here for this cattle call? Anybody
Yeah,
here
I mean, I've only seen all
old
the
Magnum
audition
PI?
tapes. I guess I could do
You're
it.
like, well, I mean, I have some.
Got the first 2 seasons memorized. I mean, do you want Higgins lines or Magnum's lines? You know, it's really quality though.
I love you. There is no one on this planet of 6 billion people like you.
I mean,
and there's a reason for that.
Magnum PI, but hey, so Adam, you made it to the top. Rutledge bounced his way up there and is shaking his trailer.
Well, yeah, made it. I got over it. I don't think I made it because the truck
relative term
have to have surgery.
Yeah, that is this. Did we break your Bronco already? We did. No,
yeah. That's when I broke going up. That's when I knocked the spline out and yeah.
How did we?
Yeah,
fix
the axle.
Didn't you have a wheel sticking further out than the other ones? It became one-wheel drive, or was it only front-wheel drive? I can't remember.
Oh,
I think it became front-wheel drive, and there was a pipe welded on the outside to keep the tire the axle from sliding out.
This was one of those weird "let's ditch him" story forks in the road, where everybody's like on set. Okay, well, we'll just continue on and we'll just have left Adam here. And you're always like, how does that play out on TV where the 2 friends leave the other guy to die in Death Valley alone?
What TV? That happens out in my relationship with you 2 idiots.
I was going to say, it's a notion, but then we actually left you.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry about that.
With a guy. I mean, somebody helped you put that thing back
He
together.
seemed nice.
This is where I'm just flat out trying to break
Had an acetylene torch.
Look at that thing. The doors open in its glory. It doesn't look nearly as badass as it is. That's one of the things I liked about that trailer.
See, right, you had no weight whatsoever, and it was still difficult to pull that thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, because all these trails. I mean, it's kind of like when we went to the Rubicon Trail. There are trails that are set up for people like, oh, it's like big gravel and you can go off. And then there's real trails like these where people that have like these incredible overland rigs are set up to go do them. We didn't have the right vehicles for almost anything we attempted, and that's really the joy of what the show was. It was three idiots that are wildly unprepared for what they're going to get thrown into. But watching Tanner drag this heavy ass trailer over stuff was insane, just because it would just jump all over the place. He never checked up. Like, that was, I think, what made it so fun, you know. But we felt bad. Your headlights hanging out. We felt it's hard when someone's car breaks and you have to keep going, because
there it
you're
is.
like, well, we got to get to the other side. But
We're
looking
right now. There's which part are you guys on?
I'm on the part.
Is this you putting the beans in my damn engine?
This is where the beans shorted out your electrical system.
Oh, this is when it literally blew the beans all over the place from shorting out the electrical.
Mm-hmm. And we've
How
been
did we continue?
many times after you've had dairy the way you blew the beans all over the place.
To start it, we had to. I am still lactose intolerant, by the way. I'm coming to terms with that. 12 years.
Good man. Appreciate that honesty. That takes
better
a
for
lot.
everybody if you do.
Yeah, that's my.
We called that a couple
8
weeks
years of
into
therapy.
season 1, didn't we?
Yeah. And you
We
still
are in a public place.
We are in a Oh, I remember that first time when Rut turned into dad and yelled at us like his daughters.
I know. I was in a freaking booth with children behind me. Like, oh, I've heard that one before.
And Rut goes, we are in a, and we because he was sitting across from the two of us. He was like, we are in a public place. We were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And I went like this. It was him.
I like when you made this starter work.
Yeah.
You
So you had to
start it?
plug that thing in, right, to start it. Yeah, it worked great. Look at that. You know, I remember the letters after this one. Everybody's like, no, you know, rock crawling. It's 1 or 2 miles an hour, and we're just like trying to destroy these cars.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of the fun.
Wasn't that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were so many people that loved to tell us you're doing it wrong, and we didn't have a nice way to blanket tell people we know that.
Yeah. That's what the show is.
This isn't, I don't know if you know, this isn't my car. And that's the joy of it. We also didn't think that any of us were going to buy any of these vehicles. So you know what? Hammer down.
Yeah.
Hammer down every.
If you were going to buy it afterwards, you probably would have taken it a beat.
I knew I was buying remember the Buick? I knew I was going to buy the Buick. And I actually told the director, I don't think it was Rupert, I forget who directed that episode, that I'm not driving it down the railroad tracks because I'm not wrecking it because I'm buying it. And the director went, well, what are we going to do? I went, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm buying this car. And I ended up
taking this home.
I had to say it on camera, and that's why we didn't do it. And then you get so protective. Remember, you put a soda on the back of the trunk of the car, Tanner. And I went, what does you think you're doing?
Hey, who's this guy?
That's right after they
soda.
That's right after they drilled holes in the roof to mount a piano, you know. So I wasn't
good morning.
too worried about it.
This is where they fixed the Bronco.
Oh, there you go, and smash. Okay, second time someone told me not to do something on TV anymore was what you're about to see when I climb out. Yep, there it is.
There you are in your
Oh,
underwear.
you guys are ahead of me. I'm still. There's your underwear. Okay, so you're only a couple.
Yep.
Talking there, right?
I'm sorry, what? There may be people under 18 that watch this.
Yes, please. Behave yourself.
Just almonds and grape nuts does not soak up even a beer.
Is that what your go-to snack was?
This morning, yeah. Bad.
Hold on, I need to have a little gin.
Hello, Jen. All right, so you see that bar, boys? You know what I had to do? But every time we were off camera, I had to drive up on the berm because I couldn't let the sidewall get heated up because the tire would blow out. So I kept having to throw the car this way and get up on the berm to drive on one side of it.
I totally forgot
push
the
it
fix. The fix was welding a bar to keep the whole axle and hub from coming out the side. Oh my God, that's brilliant.
And do you remember what else they had to do? The whole side of the bar was coated in like a lithium grease so that it would hopefully not rub through the tire.
The friction wouldn't go through the sidewall, yeah. And so I'm shaking the whole way, just trying to keep the thing from, I'm throwing it. And you would hear it. It would go, bzz, bzz, bzz.
Now, I know if you're watching, you think, hey, why does one car keep getting out so far ahead? And
I'm like, you can do it, Adam. Hammer down. We got this.
If you've seen the other ones, the other podcast, Speedy, Beardy, the Mole, you'll know it's because Tanner doesn't stay with the group. Every time he's like, "Oh, are we going? See ya."
And this frustrates Rutledge to no end, which you can see. We can't hear the show, but I can tell you're frustrated just by looking at you swinging your arms around with that hat flapping in the wind. And looking down at me over your glasses, you're so pissed right now.
Father look is this. This is Rut's. This is Rut's. We are in a public place. Look,
we are in a and here. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, the old. I'm gonna loosen the trailer.
And this is how it ramps up, and it just happens. This.
How did you sleep after this? I know how I slept poorly and on the ground.
I was in the truck. I just stayed in the truck. It wasn't terrible.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Because
good for you.
Moderately satisfying. Was Hessling on this one? I can't remember which producer was there, but I remember somebody going, what if, oh, it would be so funny if Rutledge's trailer just unhooked. It just would be, they just like put that in your head just to get you to.
And a day later, Tanner comes to play.
There it is.
You know the English are planning something. You know it would be.
Yes.
You know it would be brilliant.
It was massive. This thing when it blew off there, it was just so defeating.
That is fine.
So now you're the only one left with a trailer.
I know, the biggest, nastiest trailer ever, but I think there was an elk in the trailer.
It may have been. This makes me want another K5 so bad because I did love it, even though it was a total
actually want a Bronco and remember to put it into 4-wheel drive. I'm still annoyed at it.
Would you get another one that was white this time, 96, with the vanity plate, not OJ?
Yeah, and then I get a guy named Al Callings to drive me around at very slow speeds.
That's a great idea.
So you know what I had to keep myself from doing? I was at Barrett Jackson and I was interviewing John Elway, and it was all I could do not to call him a slow white Bronco.
Tanner, that's a football joke.
I get it.
Okay.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
John Elway, he's a car dealer. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a bunch of car dealers in Denver. He was selling his Viper. I think he had a 2012 Viper he was selling.
That's a good time. I've got a commercial, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't pay for the expensive Hulu, apparently.
You did.
$14.99.
Look at him.
My bad.
You want to know why? That's why we did him all at Tanner's house the first time. He's like, I got it, and my couch is big. I said, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
lighting is terrible.
Rod, are you at the part where we're trying to climb up the hill? This is where we almost died.
Yeah, we're at the Dumont. This is Dumont Dunes, which is a public access dune. Very surprisingly big dunes, though. This is
amazing
rear wheel drive, and you've made it hardly any. Oh, we're trying to go as high as we can. Okay.
Yeah.
Look how steep that is. This is very steep.
Wow. You see that? I didn't go coming over the hill. There was no hill on the other side, and
yes.
Whoa!
That was very early. That was like, oh, guys, welcome. And Adam's trying to kill himself immediately. Yeah. It happened so fast. But having never been there before, you and I had never been there. Dude, it looks like, oh, this I could go this way. This is fantastic. It's a clip to your death.
Yeah. You almost died right there too, Adam.
Yeah.
Jesus. Every time you went over there. So this is when I went all the way to the other side of the valley to get a run up, and my car died at the other side of the valley. So then I had to foot race all the way across the base and up the hill while Rutledge was on hands and knees climbing up the mountain.
That was it. We were supposed to run up the mountain. That's when me and Rudd almost died.
Yeah. So someone put a flag at the very top. and I'm gonna just assume it was our friend Tabitha, who's an amazing producer, who obviously wanted us to die. So she puts his flag at the top, and her idea was, oh, well, if they just race up to it, they'll be fine. They'll get there. The problem was none of the vehicles had any power and did diddly squat. Adams got stuck almost immediately. And then we decided to get out and just run. But it feels like a vertical, it felt like a sheer vertical made of sand.
And every 3 steps got you about a half a step forward because the sand just rolled down with you. You know, just like sand dunes.
It was like the original stair climber. You remember those?
Yes.
It
Like
was
the one
like
with
that, except
Julia
embarrassing.
Roberts.
Oh yeah, like that one. Except there was sand in your face.
Yeah.
Right, and you're just.
And Rupert was right there with the camera, and he was like, "How do you feel? What do you feel?" And you're just like, and you're sucking sand in with every breath, and you're like, spitting sand.
Brilliant.
And he's just right there with you, and you're thinking, this is the guy who like Cobra wrestled, you know, in some BBC documentary. And this is, you know, he's living every second of it. And you're sweating and throwing up. I think like 2 out of 3 of us puked, and didn't make the show.
No, we didn't make
it.
But me and you were in the trailer, and they took the beers out of the cooler, just put it on our feet, and put them behind our neck. Yeah.
So this was the first time I ever heard of beer feet, and our friend Tabitha saw we were super dehydrated and overheated. So there was a cooler of beer for us or somebody when we were done. And they had us take our shoes and socks off, and they put the cold beers on our feet because the blood was going to pump around and it would get to our brains and help cool us down. It was amazing. Greatest dehydration trick I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. It also helped that we drank the beer.
That's true. Not a beer drinker, but I was that day.
Are you guys up to, where are you up to? Are you up to your Egyptian crossing, Cleopatra?
Yes. It looks like, so one of our things was this was a road in a subdivision we had hit because you really can go almost the entire way without having to cross a road if you go the right direction. And so we were in this position where we were going to try to figure out how to get across this one little road. And Tanner, I don't remember, your idea was you drive up on these planks and then push it
across
these rollers.
I'd literally watched a documentary on the building of the pyramids a few days before. And they had something like this where they, you know, would roll things heavy and then just move the logs from the back to the front. And I thought if I got enough momentum, I could come onto this thing and hit the brakes. That really didn't work. So then tried pushing. And then you guys were gracious.
If you're watching, this always happens to you and me, right? This happened in Iceland too. He has an idea, and we end up doing all the grunt work. We're pushing the Jeep. In Iceland, we had to push the Bronco he had, and he's just sitting up there steering and organizing everything.
Play to your strengths, you know, is what I always leave there. Well, and my shoe was untied. I didn't realize that when we started.
I hope that we do Iceland, but the part that you're talking about, Adam, was at night and off camera, but it's the closest we've ever come to death. Not because of wrecking a car, but Adam and I almost had heart attacks pushing a 78 Bronco up an ice cliff at night while Tanner was like, oh, guys, I would get out and push, but like I need to give it about 200 RPMs more than idle. Otherwise, we're just going to bog.
Yeah, the idle's too low. I got it. Yeah. You little.
Probably
just
was not
lying.
though. Wait, are
really?
we alive? Are we alive? Everybody here? We're good? How's your gin?
Oh, okay. Here's this was my
camera's off. Hand me a red vine.
Yeah, we made it.
So now I have to get my Jeep across. I have to get my Bronco across. So my idea was just to drag it on the side.
Yeah, so the tires weren't technically touching.
Yeah, technically the tires couldn't touch pavement. So I figured, okay, I'll just drag it on the side. But I couldn't drag it on the side with the bar on it because I would lose the tire. So I had to find.
I like that. If I had been paying attention, and I would have remembered what Tanner's face looks like right here when we got to the Rubicon Trail and he told me to turn the wrong direction. And I flipped that Toyota 4Runner. But the Bronco went over gently, you know, like a a cup of coffee and a rental car. Just there it went.
And I had to go back and get the controller for the winch.
That was the most dangerous part.
Right.
Jesus. I can hardly watch this.
I'm just going to jump in here and get this. Oh, your leg's dangling up there. Now, was this, Adam, I wasn't paying attention. Was this it was your desert shirt.
Yeah.
Is this where your desert shirt
This was the
from?
first. I bought 2 of the same desert shirts at REI, and I wore them for 2 years.
This is where the winch got destroyed on that Jeep, sadly.
I think you wore them for about 9 years. Yeah. Wait, is this where you're blaming Adam for destroying your winch?
Yeah.
So in other news, there's a truck behind me pulling the Jeep because I couldn't pull him by myself with that Jeep. And that much pressure on the winch broke it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like a real wiener mobile. Sounds like you picked wrong.
My favorite was when you started this thing up after all the oil had dripped into the cylinders.
Remember the smoke? My God. It looked like a dock fire. Just
it was like a neighborhood barbecue and everyone's was on high.
Your idea,
then,
I don't know where was this
What?
idea. I was shocked that it worked.
Yeah, I thought the rug was going to break. I figured it would snap.
I thought you
why would y'all doubt me?
I thought you'd drive out of it because it'd be impossible to see if you were in it.
Like it would start and then just
step over.
Well, I think.
See,
I mean, to be fair, I thought it was brilliant because
Mhm.
I came up with it.
It's good
See,
stuff.
I thought it was. Yeah, it was either. Yeah, I figured that scene was going to go.
Just think
And you
of
know
all
what
the
was great?
band-
You see the rug? I think you used it for the interior later, didn't you?
Oh, I did. I totally did. I got a great deal on those. Got those
I was
online.
sure that license plate was going to poke through or something.
The winch, I'm surprised the winch did not because that front bumper was so beefy on there.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it was going to happen, but amazingly, it worked. I was really proud of that one.
shocked about that.
Now, I do think if I had gone a little bit faster,
It would have gone.
yeah, I think we could have really poked a hole in it. Because you saw I had a little gap there. I had to have some extra. But once it started flapping and covered my window entirely, then I was like, you could tell me I crossed, I wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
How could I possibly know? There it goes. Oh my gosh. Did you just you threw something down, didn't you?
He threw his hat down. He was very upset that it worked. He was very upset that your idea worked.
What in the Sam Hill is this?
I think I'm a little ahead of you, unfortunately, now.
You are?
Boo.
Don't tell me how it ends. I'm interested.
Yeah, because I just got to the part where we drove away.
Yes, then you see, dude, that's not, for the record, that's not the dust that Tanner kicked up. That's just the smoke from Adam's Bronco, the oil dripping back down. It was like that for the next day.
It
Are you both in the same spot? I'll pause it here for a
It was
second.
like the fog in a werewolf movie. We just driving
the whole
it.
time. And I think this is when we were trying to get to Mount Charleston.
Oh, I remember this day.
Oh, I remember this night. The night before this was for the season.
They're closed for the season. Okay, so we're gonna let you in on a little TV secret.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have a call time, and that call time could be 9 a.m.
Let's rewind to the night before.
Okay. Remember the beer cooler? There was a reason it was there.
Yes, because we were out in the middle of nowhere, so we didn't have hotels. People were sleeping in tents, and so they were having a good time. Well, this one particular night, we were close enough to get to this hotel, and it was a lovely place, and we decided we would all stay there. And we got there, had a late call time the next morning, and everyone abused the late call time privilege because we had shot so late coming up to it. We didn't finish till like 9 or 10 at night.
It was a wedding.
It was all trails.
Yeah.
And then we got to the hotel, and there was a wedding there on, for the record, like a Wednesday or Thursday night, totally random. And then we took over the bar,
Rutledge is
I
on the
don't know.
pool table singing into a pool cue for about 3 hours.
Yeah. Well, I think
We're doing
someone at the wedding
Sambuca
party-
shots till 8 in.
Yeah, someone at the wedding party recognized us, invited us to the wedding. And by the way, Sheila looked lovely.
It's a
thought
great,
she was
great wedding. I'm sure
beautiful.
I'm so bummed we missed that.
So,
So then-
the beer starts flowing, the shots start happening.
Fast forward the next morning, we get the call time. I'm a little hungover. And so this part of the show where they're modifying their cars and I elect not to because mine's so great already, cue the cockiness, I genuinely just had to sleep. And so I slept there. Those shots of me sleeping are absolutely, completely passed out.
We just shot them because it was funny to us. And then in the post-production, put them in there.
The opening
Just-
conversation there, remember we tried to do it about 4 times and finally they're just like, okay, Tanner, you just don't say anything.
Yeah, Tanner, just don't say, just nod. And we had to do math and mileage, and we just had to just say the number, and you couldn't even say the number. You didn't even have enough saliva to like make your toothpaste foam. We just like, just go sit. Just go sit in the Jeep. We'll figure this out.
I just remember vividly seeing Felipe's face while you were trying to talk, and Felipe, amazing cameraman today, and I've seen him, and just still one of the kindest people. But our crew on this show, they went through hell to make this show for people. It was unbelievable. But there was this look on Felipe's face when Tanner tried to put a sentence together that I had never seen, and it was a childlike joy. And Felipe just had this look like, there's no way they could ever use any of this.
Yeah. Do you still want me to record? Because I don't think
we're just wasting tape.
We
There's
cut
no way this plays.
My bad. So I slept it off. We got on the road and coasted our way down to Las Vegas.
Honest question. You think that couple's still together?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I thought she could do better.
Well, they did offer the crew drugs, so
yes, that's what I'm saying.
They did.
The groom sent, "Hey man, you want to get high?" And I was like,
Hey, man.
"I gotta go to work."
Let's do it. Remember, you had to do a shot for a fallen comrade at 6 a.m.
Oh yeah,
Like,
you got caught in the vortex.
That's when the audio guy started speaking Klingon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you remember that. He just chime in.
That's the
Rob.
All right, Rob.
Here's
Rest in peace, man.
When Tanner gets there's some kind of critical mass when Tanner starts drinking, and if that builds up, there's no stopping him. It's like, remember when you got loaded in Brooklyn? You ended up crawling back to my apartment in New York.
No,
Pickle
I don't.
shot, pickle
I
juice.
really don't
That was pickle.
want to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Pickle juice and Sambuca don't mix. Just let me say that.
Yeah.
Food cases with pickle juice.
So just long story short, I had to get on a plane, and your bag was at my apartment. So you had to get back to my apartment, and I told my doorman, I said, "Listen, I got a buddy of mine who's going to come. He's going to be pretty banged up. Just do me a favor. Make sure he gets in the car that heads towards Canada and give him this bag." He goes, "I got you." And then you just showed him, "Hi, I'm Tanner." Yeah, come with me. And then Mike took care of you.
When you say I got a friend is going to be pretty banged up, is he expecting like an arm broken and an eyeball hanging out? Like
Maybe.
He got beat up by Vinny, or is he like?
Here's the thing. You know what kind of good friend he is? He didn't ask. He did not ask.
Good man. Good man. So this.
I had no idea where your apartment was. I was running alongside what was an Uber at the time. And he just popped out. "Are you Tanner?" I was like, yes. I wasn't even the building I thought it was.
I was told to take care of you. Come here.
Yeah. Gentlemen,
Guys, this was so much fun.
it was
I
a
bet
blast.
you're idiots.
Hey, thanks for checking us out. Speedy, Beardy, and the Mole. Love for you to tell your friends about it.
Mm-hmm.
Our goal here is to tell some fun stories, but just so you know, we want to go back to work, go make a fun show together. We just want to make the right show and not a fake "Where's My Tool" drama laden show where we have to pretend to fight, because that's not real. We're just three friends that love cars. We love you for watching.
Yep.
Thank you guys very much.
And we'll fight for real for you. Don't you worry. All right. I love you.
All right. I love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
See ya.